something to say, something to say.
Hey guys, how's it going? And it's reveal time. So if you've been following, I've been doing a 3-part series on RC car painting. This is where you guys get to see what it all came out to. So over here, this again is the near finished product for Ghost. And he's not looking very ghosty. Actually, he's looking pretty toasty. I can't believe I just said that. But as you see, I don't have very many decals on here, just the basic bodyline decals. And that's because the new owner actually says he works for a decal or a sign company, and he has access to make any decals he wants. So he has some plans for what he's going to do. So to make his life easier, I want to leave it pretty much clean. So you see the, the masking technique worked pretty well in this car. Now, it's not perfect, and I'm not going to go through and point out all the individual imperfections that I see, because when you build stuff, you see everything that didn't come out quite as well as you wanted it to. But the bottom line of it all, though, is that it actually looks, it looks pretty nice. My wife loves it. She kind of wants to keep it, but can't do that. But as you can see, the masking, the liquid mask did have some nice tight lines. The only thing that I would say to do different with that product, though, is I put on 2 thick brush coats, and I probably should have went ahead and put on a 3rd. Because what I found is when I went to peel the material away, in some areas it was a little thin, and it didn't want to relieve itself from the car as easily as it probably should have, or I should say as easily as the last time I used the product. So if you're going to try to use my brush method, make sure that you use 3 thick brush coats. It's going to feel like you're putting a ton of material onto the car, and you are, but you need it. All right, so over here, this guy, I've been calling her Tre, but the new owner has other plans, and I think the new name may be Blade. So he's got some plans for this car as well. So I just went ahead and, again, kept it simple, put on the basic Proline stickers, but also just went ahead and put on a couple more just little dress up stickers. Now this was, as you can see, it's a very intricate paint job. So, and there's a lot of detail work that's going on in here. Things from like having the silver accents through here with the racing stripes, and all the details around the back and everything. And this isn't a perfect paint job by any stretch of the imagination. Honestly, this was the most challenging paint scheme I've done so far. And it didn't come out perfect. I'll freely admit that, but I think it looks pretty darn good. And I mean, especially for, for the, well, I was going to be a little crass and say for the amount of money that the owner is actually paid for it on eBay. I mean, this is a hell of a steal. But that's kind of what it is. I mean, I'm not doing these cars to make money from them. I'm doing them to learn. And I'm grateful to both of the new owners to allow me to have a chance to play with some new techniques that I haven't really messed around with before. So they're doing me a favor by letting me build them a car. I know that sounds weird, but that's the way I look at it. So now, other things that I learned. Now you see here, this paint color looks familiar. This looks very similar to the paint color that I've been using for a lot of my cars, but it's a different brand. So let's turn this into a little product review. I actually used this Testors RC car lacquer, and it's got a nice color, and this is advertised as being a 1-coat product, and yea verily, it is a 1-coat product. The problem with that is that if you're trying to put down nice controlled coats so that you can do a light buildup and you'll follow the proper technique where you do a mist coat, let that dry, and then you put more color and all that, this will not work very well. And I had problems because I tried to use moderation and a good technique to lay down the color on Blade, as I'll now start calling her, and it just didn't work. It came out thick and heavy. So I ended up having to fight to try to keep the stuff from running. And so it wasn't as controlled an experience. Now, I can't really complain too much because it's just, you know, rattle can paint. But, you know, if you're trying to go for a really high-end professional look, I'm really thinking that, you know, all of these cans, you know, you just want to turn around and walk away. Because what I found across the board, and that's, I mean, this stuff right here is pretty good. I could get some good I could really meter how I applied it, but it's still, especially the metallic stuff, it came on kind of thick, and it was hard to moderate your use of that. And this Duratrack stuff, oh my God. I mean, the finished paint looks pretty nice, but it, you know, one can, big old can of this, actually put down about the same amount of paint as one of the smaller cans of this Pactor that I used to use. So, you know, I mean, it's not bad, but again, if you're trying to, you know, just use an even finger and put down consistent coats, this is tough stuff. I mean, all the cans, I have 3 different brands here that I tried, you know, with this particular project, and, you know, they were all tough. So I think the bottom line is that if you want to try to get a really high-end, high-quality paint job, you kind of have to go for that airbrush. And I really didn't want to have to buy extra hardware to, you know, paint bodies, because I don't paint bodies that often. But I'm thinking that if to get the results that I want to get, that's probably what I'm going to have to go into. Because it's incredibly difficult to get a good, consistent, even coat with these cans. I mean, if you're just trying to just blast it down over, and you know, if you're just doing one uniform color and you don't care about bleed throughs and things like that, yeah, these rattle cans will probably work just fine. But, you know, like I had issues, and again, I'm not going to point out the individual defects in my eye, but there were a few places where I, you know, ended up getting some bleed through underneath the liquid mask. And again, that could just be because I didn't put it on as thick as I should have. But I got some bleed through, and I also had some issues with, you know, the paint running and pooling and all that. And I don't think there's any way around that using, you know, spray can technology. You have to upgrade to an airbrush. And so the bottom line is airbrushes aren't just for, you know, making cool airbrush drawings and pictures inside your models. If you want to get a good, consistent, professional, like, lay down of your paint material, you have to step up your game. So if anything, you know, if there's any takeaway from this video series, I think that's probably it. I mean, if you want to get good, high quality results, you have to sit down and you have to do the prep. So you have to take it all seriously. You can't just figure you're going to go and, you know, spend an hour and get yourself a kick-ass high-end paint job. No, you got to do some work at it, you know, and so this has actually been I think this is my 4th day working on these paint jobs, just on the paint jobs themselves. And we're talking about multi-hour sessions, you know, doing paint, decals, trimming, you know, all the little touch-ups and everything. So if you want to get results, you're going to have to make that investment. But I think that the outcomes are worthwhile. So they're just giving a nice little glamour shot of these guys. You know, I think that she's I want to call her kitten, because it reminds me almost like a tiger stripe over there. And the, you know, Ghost, you know, I like this red on it, on this PF8 body. So I think I mentioned before, I was tempted to go ahead and do that body with the carbon Kevlar, and I might just be tempted to do that. I'm surprised at how much I like that body. I still like my Offna McLaren body, but that PF8's got a lot of good advantages to it. All right, so trying to keep it under 10 minutes. So I appreciate the comments I've been getting back from this video series. I hope you guys find it helpful. If you have other techniques or other things you want to chime in on, please feel free to throw those into the comments. You know, this is a work in progress. I might be doing some more of these in the future. So let me know what you think. Give me some feedback. I actually got some thumbs downs on the last, you know, couple videos. So whoever did it, you know, hey, that's your opinion, no problem. But, you know, give me some feedback. Let me know what you liked and what you didn't like. All right, so as always, guys, it's been great. I love these projects, and I'll post the pictures on Google Plus. I'm going to document them a little bit because I'm going to hate to see these things go because I have invested a lot of time and effort into them. But I know that the new owners are going to love them. So, as always, guys, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. This is Our House 21 signing off. And remember to fly, fix, fly, break it, fix it, do it all over again. And remember that nothing ventured, nothing gained. Step outside your comfort zone every now and then. Try a different project. Try something new, and you might learn something that you might improve. So, I mean, this is kind of what this exercise was for me, and I had a blast. And like I said, I'm gonna kind of hate to see these guys go. So you might see another bulldog body pop up, in my stable just as something to do. Because that in itself is worth doing one. I mean, for heat run applications. Get the cooling air in, and especially with the new thing I have coming up here, which will be revealed to you very shortly. Having extra cooling air like that might be very beneficial. All right, guys, you guys take care. Peace.